just in case sometimes I do drop and have one, but that's like my norm now. I actually joke about it. A lot of people that like are next to me, I'll joke about it, and they'll get like offended. I'm like, no, it's okay, just laugh. Like, and they'll be like, I don't know how to react to that. But yeah, it's I'm used to it now, because at the end of the day, it's a part of me now, whether I like it or not. I don't know how long it's gonna last for, but it's a part of me, and I just gotta take it and sort of gotta get used to it. Yeah. Wow.
Anybody else have a question?
How was it making a film, and like do you think you'll ever be able to watch that last scene?
I actually have watched the last scene before, like the first time I actually saw the full movie, and making it was kind of I didn't want to. I did it anyways. And Justine wanted me to do it, so I don't want to let Justine down. And I'm actually proud of it, so.
You should be.
How is it like watching it after time? Like, has it gotten easier, or how has it changed?
Well, it has gotten easier because it's been a while, but watching it kind of makes me anxious, makes me like, makes me like tense up, and I don't really like watching it or anything. I don't want to watch it, of course, but watching it, each time I watch it, it gets a little bit easier, I guess you could say. Just that last scene is just a lot worse than everything else to me.
Both of your performances are just amazing.
Don't do that, because then I'm gonna start.
I'm wondering, you talked about your community that came and lifted you up and how that important is, or was to you, and Aramis and Mackenzie too. Like, just wondering if you guys, through your hard times, found those communities and what they were and what they meant to you, and like, I don't know, to put words to how important that is to the whole grieving process and growing process.
A lot.
Wait, so are you asking
Could
like?
people hear
Okay,
that
so
question?
you-
Wait, could people hear that question?
Could you repeat it?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
don't think
her
people could hear.
question was the support, the community, and how important it is to the growth process and the healing process and the grieving process. And it was what I had, and do they have that, and how did that help them? Yes?
Yeah, because you think of grieving as a personal, like, I went through this thing, and I think it's a natural thing to feel that way, but immediately it seemed like you had that community, and that was a big part of your process.
Right. For me, yes, I did. But also culturally, for me, grief and loss, no matter what type it is always a community thing. Like when you lose something or someone, people are immediately calling you, they're in your home, they're cooking for you, they make sure that you are not alone. That's also a cultural thing.
And what culture is that?
I'm Nigerian, West African. My phone was blowing up in, the months that followed, but I wasn't talking to anyone. So they would call my mom, and then she'd be like, well, she doesn't really want to talk. And then I eventually changed my number. I know, savage, I did. But because I'm also, yes, I do this and I'm a therapist and everything, but I really, really I'm an introvert and I love my culture, but they do too much. So yeah, I eventually changed my number, and when I came back to Rhode Island, people would see me and go, "Oh my God, how are you?" I'm good, thank you. How's your son? He's good, thank you. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's okay, I'm good, thank you. And it's 2018, and I still get those looks, and I still get those, "Oh, poor baby." It's like, no, don't do that. I'm bigger than that. I'm stronger than that. I'm better than that. I've moved on from that. So I had a good, tight, close community, but the community allowed to do too much. Yeah, but my close-knit sisterhood and my brothers and my mom and my pastor and the other people in my church were able to like, okay, come on home. We got you. We'll take care of you. You're good. And so, yeah.
Can you repeat the question? I forgot. So wait, were you basically asking like what it was that we?
Who were the people
Wait,
and who helped you? Yeah.
Oh, okay. For sure, definitely everyone here. My family at home. People that I worked with, like even when I had to go on TDI and I couldn't go to work, they would hit me up all the time. Best friends. I did have a lot of support, but at the time, like I wanted it, but I didn't because, like you said, being very like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." That kind of didn't offend me, but it was like I don't want to be that victim. I don't want to be the one that you look down on and you're like, "Oh my God, that poor thing." I want to be that person like, "All right, she's going through something, let her be." But like, I feel like when I went through it, I felt worse for the people around me because you had to see me seize. You had to see me fall. You had to see me cry about it. You had to see like my family stress about it. So it was like, I felt worse for, especially my mom, because she was there when I had my first seizures, like 7 back to back the first day. So I feel worse for the people around me. I kind of adjusted to it by now, but definitely I did have a lot of support. I appreciate all of it. I didn't want to say like I didn't appreciate it. I was just trying to say like I didn't like at first when it was just like all of that, like you were saying, yeah. But other than that, like I appreciate it. People to this day still check on me, because I'm still going through it. But I mean, I appreciate it. Yeah.
So, I think what helped me the most and what made me get out of that hole that I dug myself into, like underground, was this place. It made me happy, and it made me happier than I have ever been before in my life. And I'm so grateful for this place and Justine adopted me again. But if it wasn't for these people, I'd probably just still be in a hole. And I really thank everybody here a lot.
So I just wanted to make a comment. So when I was 17, my brother died, and my parents fell apart. Like they just did that thing where they went in a hole. I mean, my father had to work and my mother still cooked dinner, but it was kind of like going through the motions. And I went to college, and like the interesting thing, I'm just reflecting on that experience. So I left, which was really good, because I found a way to take care of myself because my parents couldn't, because they just didn't know how, and I couldn't take care of them. I couldn't do that until later. But so anyway, so my brother was 20, I was 17. So when my daughter was 22, she had a severe stroke. And because of my parents' model, I didn't want to do what they did. So I did something really different, which was I created a community. Like I did this whole thing where I had this Caring Bridge site, and I wrote every day because I didn't want to talk on the phone. Like I had hundreds of messages on my phone and I hadn't answered it. But I didn't cook for like months, but like people brought food. Like it wasn't arranged. Like I don't even know how it happened. Like my boyfriend cooked for me, and like I don't even remember like sleeping. Like, but I did. But like it was, but I knew that I needed a community, and so I put it out there, like, and then I didn't organize anything, but then whatever was needed kind of happened, and it was, anyway, I guess it's just interesting that to have seen my parents and then to be a parent and to see that they needed a community, but they didn't know how to have it, and they didn't know how to ask for help. And I think for me, asking for help was the lesson that I learned, because people don't know what to do, and so they say the thing like you guys, I think you were saying, Mackenzie, like they say, oh, I'm so sorry, oh, how are you? But like that doesn't really get to the essence of, but like I'm moving this week and I can't do it because I'm at the hospital with my daughter. So I just write down, I'm moving, and then like 40 people like packed my house, and like, I mean, literally. And then I moved because my boss actually came and helped me do it. Like, it was just like, if I put it out there, like it just happened. I just felt like community was really important, and I guess I just think it's what our culture doesn't always know how to do, because I think we don't know how to ask for what we need. And unless you have like your culture where there is that tradition, I think it's needed. I think for grief, you need some community. So anyway, I didn't have a question. I just had a little story.
And it sometimes when, especially in my experience and just kind of going through it, the American culture is more of a, I run from these things. Contrasting the cultures, the American culture is much more me and myself and my family. That's it. My culture is much more of the whole it takes a village to raise a child. It's the whole village. Having been doing this for a while now, I hear people say, well, I don't have anyone. And I'm like, okay, but you do. And then we go through the list of a mentor or a friend or a teacher or a guidance counselor, somebody. Community and family it's the people that are there for us and with us, not necessarily blood. And sometimes it's hard to see when we're busy looking for blood, and sometimes blood is just not there. Our parents maybe are not there, or siblings are not who they are supposed to be. They don't take care of us, they don't love us, they're doing their own things, or maybe they have their own struggles. But a community is that one person that you have that you know that when you pick up the phone, they're there. Or before you pick up the phone, they're there. They can look at you and go, what's wrong? That's your community. That's your support system. It's not necessarily, I love it. He said the people here. That's his community. That's his family. And we all have that. It's just not easy to find, or it's not easy to see sometimes because we're looking for what we think a community is supposed to look like.
Can I share something? My mother just passed away at 90. When I realized that she was going to be dying, it made me recall some very ugly and traumatic things, abusive things that she did to me. Not once, but through, I mean, she was physically, she was emotionally, and she was verbally abusive to me. And she wasn't that way to anyone else. And I can't say that my relationship with my siblings is at its high point right now. And I belong to a synagogue, and I was really very hesitant to say anything about how my mother's memory is something other than a blessing, because that's the traditional Jewish response, may their memory, and not all memories are blessings. And I was just floored when I put that my mother had died, and what I am mourning is not that a 95-year-old died after a long and fulfilling life, but that I never had a mother. I never had, and I was just absolutely floored by all of the love and support and other people telling me that they've been through. And it just, I mean, that, as you were saying, it's not blood. And my rabbi showed me there's a traditional Jewish prayer that said, it's called Kaddish. And it's really more about God, but it's traditionally recited by mourners for a certain period of time. And he showed me something that was written by a rabbi that's kind of an alternate Kaddish, that acknowledges that you want to be a good Jew and a good child, but don't delude but also acknowledges the hurt and the pain. And I have read that several times since he showed it to me on Saturday, and it was just so validating, because not all memories are blessings. And if this prayer is in the major Jewish prayer book that's used, then it wasn't only written for me. And the community has that. I found that just by opening up about being traumatized, by being abused, that just is, it's a huge relief, and so many other people have been through that.
Opening up. It's important.
Thank you so much for sharing.
And
Beautiful.
thank you for sharing your story.
Beautiful.
My mom died when I was a little kid, and she died suddenly, unexpectedly, and it was a trauma. It was very traumatizing. Here I am 50 years later, and I have survived. I've thrived. It's certainly something that's always with me, and I would give anything to have an afternoon with her. Even today, I still think that. But my younger brother, I mean, he's still alive, but he really didn't survive. They didn't know what to do with us. They didn't know, he just said to me last week, I never saw anybody grieve. Like, what did they think we were, how could they do that to us? Never talked to us about it. My memories are different. We have a very matriarchal family, and I think that they probably really didn't know what to do with a boy. But for whatever reason, he's a middle-aged man now who is still deep inside that 8-year-old boy waiting for mom to come back. And so I think the difference, and it seems like Aramis and Mackenzie, you both have that in your life, is having people to talk to about it.
Yeah.
People to tell you stories about your mom, or just include her and make sure that she stays in everybody's lives. So I think we're like a case right out of the lab, you know, that sort of one of us did well and the other one didn't. And he's in therapy now to try and get help for it. So yeah, that support system is so powerful.
So, I just wanted to comment on what you said about sometimes your pain becomes your platform. I thought that was a beautiful statement. And Aramis and Mackenzie, I was just wondering how it feels for you guys to kind of be, obviously you're touching other people here. And like I told Aramis today, he did another short film that we've shown to hundreds of middle school kids, and like they cry, they open up, and like how does it feel to know that your work is touching so many people?
Not again. Honestly, it just makes me kind of proud that it's not only affecting me, but like it's affecting everyone that sees it, and makes them know that like they're not alone, and then like they can talk about things. Like you don't have to keep your grief like in there, because it's not gonna go away. It's just gonna make you explode. And it's going through grief isn't to like forget or like get over it, but like it's to like come to terms with it and get the positive memories in there. It's not only about the negative, because things happen and shit happens.
Trauma happens. What about you, Mackenzie? Final words.
Half of what he said, and basically like what I like is that we're given the opportunity to go into depth about our situations. Like I went from my dad being abusive to my friend dying and everything else, but I like it because when I did my show, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, I had a senior project, and there was a little girl in the front, and she was a middle schooler, and she was basically, I don't know if she cried or she said something about how she could relate to me because she was being bullied in school, and she felt like I understood her, which I like that a lot, because back when I was in middle school, I was being bullied, I was going through stuff at home, I didn't really know like what to do, and I didn't really have like a role model until I came here, which I think was my 8th grade year. So, I mean, a year later, when things were getting rough, and it kind of came together in a way. But I just, like he said, I love what I do, and I'm proud that I can help people too, because it sucks. Like you said, trauma does happen, and there's a lot of kids younger and younger. Like it's starting younger and younger that they're witnessing things and being just in terrible situations, and it's not fair, but it's your path, and I think that they're gonna learn that when they get older, that this happens to everyone and they're not alone. So.
They say fear haunts you, and pain hates. I say pain strengthens, and fear drives faith. And I don't know all of the outcomes, don't know what happens tomorrow. But when that ocean of doubt comes, don't let me drown in my sorrow, and don't let me stay at the bottom. I feel like this hole is too deep to climb. I've been looking for a way out, but I'm searching for a peace of mind. Picking up the pieces of my life and hoping that I put together something right. Tell me all I got is all I need. Tell me you gon' help me stay and fight. No, I'm trying to cover my soul. I'm just trying to find where I go. I'm trying to